All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Andrew Moschetti, the Chief of Boulder Emergency Squad, a volunteer fire and rescue department here in Boulder. So first off, this is as close as I get to black tie. I got a nice bow on at least, so that should count. But I'm here tonight to talk to you guys a little bit about the 4 Mile Fire. On Labor Day at 10:01 in the morning, it was reported to Boulder Dispatch that there was a small fire in Emerson Gulch. This was one of the first trucks that showed up. You might see it outside as well, and this is about what they saw. By the time the fire was under control 7 days later, it was one of the most destructive fires in Colorado history, burning nearly 6,200 acres, almost 169 homes, forcing the evacuation of 3,500 residents, and amazingly enough, resulting in 0 injuries or fatalities. This shows you how fast the fire grew. That purple area is the size of the fire Monday night at 11 p.m., 13 hours after the fire started. So during the fire, you guys may have heard terms being thrown around, type 1, type 2, things like that. A type 3 incident is a local level incident that may exceed the jurisdiction where it started and uses county resources. The 4 Mile Fire reached this almost instantly. A type 2 incident brings in the next level of management team, a regional team, and starts to utilize state and national resources to help fight it. These resources began arriving Monday night through Tuesday morning, and by Tuesday evening they took control. A type 1 incident is what this fire would ultimately become, led by a type 1 incident management team, the same type that handles things like Katrina and 9/11. It's a group of about 100 people with specific job titles that just show up and they know what they're doing, they fit right in. In order to manage all of this, they set up an incident command post at the Fire Training Center at Boulder Reservoir. Conveniently, the training center had just been completed this summer and turned out to be an ideal location for the construction of a small city. This city accommodated over 1,100 people and included everyone from firefighters to command staff, an internal public information office, resource staging, anything else you can imagine, and well over 100 engines. This right here is a picture of the supply and shipping unit, just for all of the firefighting supplies that were coming in for people to check out, exchange things they had lost. The scale was unbelievable to see how many people were there. The fire would ultimately be stopped by a combination of the weather finally cooperating, as well as the air resources that were able to be brought in. There were 17 tankers that got brought into Boulder County, which was a majority of the large ones in the country. In addition to the wind, the fire was being fueled on by the wildland-urban interface where we live, with houses packed densely into areas of the forest. We've got a lot of beetle kill, pine beetles, dead stuff going on. Things like this on the first day caused there to be flames in some areas of up to 200 feet, making traditional ground-based firefighting techniques nearly impossible. So by forcing all the firefighters into a more defensive attack, they couldn't quite do the things they'd thought, but were still able to save over 500 homes within the burned area. The community also played a large part in this. Our organization specifically, once the fire had calmed down a bit, began to help out with other relief efforts around the community, such as helping with donation and assistance and collecting items. In addition to the very real and tragic loss of all the homes and property, the environment also suffered a huge loss in this, and it'll likely take decades, if not longer, to rebuild completely from the fire. There's currently hundreds of people from a federal, state, and local level that are working on how to deal with the aftermath of this fire and some of the things we might face, including things like mudslides, the increased potential for flooding, bridges that may get washed out in the area. So there are a lot of people, and they are working on this. During the fire, there were 9 volunteer firefighters who lost their homes while on the fire, including this one here. A lot of these gentlemen and ladies turned right back around and went back on the fire and continued to fight as volunteers for no pay to continue to protect and defend the neighborhoods in which they live and their communities. So in recognition of that, the Boulder County Firefighters Association has set up a text donation system. If you guys text the word FIRE to 27722, it'll make a donation of $10, 100% of which will go to the Boulder County Firefighters Association to assist these ladies and gentlemen who lost their homes. Thank you all. Have a good night. Stay safe.